If you're watching this review because you're trying to find an audio interface that will work nicely with a professional studio microphone, such as the Shure SM7B, then let me say straight away that the Volt series of audio interfaces from Universal Audio will be ideal. There's plenty of gain available without the use of a cloud lifter, and whether you're trying to achieve professional sounding audio or even just using it for video calls and interviews, this will work perfectly. If that's all you wanted to know, then feel free to leave a like and be on your way. But if you'd like to know more, keep watching. The first thing to say about this product is you absolutely won't be disappointed when you receive it. The packaging is probably the best I've ever come across, and considering in the past few months I've been fortunate enough to unbox a Sony Alpha camera and a MacBook Pro, that's saying something. In the box you get the Volt itself, a couple of cables to give you the option of using mains or USB power, and a few leaflets. I have here the Volt 2, and I think it's probably safe to assume that the rest of the Universal Audio range will be of similar build quality, which is fantastic. It feels solid, it's got a beautiful finish that looks great, and it keeps looking great. I've got several other metal products which are finished in black, and they're pretty bad at showing up dust and dirt, but this grey finish does a great job of not showing the dust. I bought this particular interface over, say, the 276 because I wanted to mount it underneath my desk rather than having it sat on top. But when I received it and set it up, I found I was in no particular rush to do so because it looks so nice where it is. I've got no doubt that the other devices from Universal Audio are of as good, if not better, build quality, given that this is the entry-level model. Setup was pretty straightforward on both Windows and Mac. I was using a Windows desktop PC for a few months after getting the Volt 2 before recently switching to a MacBook Pro. And note though that while it may start working straight away, you will want to go to the Universal Audio site and download the software to make sure that it's connected properly, it's going to work as you expect it to, and you'll be able to update the firmware, etc. Plus you get access to the free plugins and software like Ableton Live Lite through logging in to the Universal Audio site. The build quality on the Volt extends to the buttons and dials on the device, which are precise and satisfying to use. There's plenty of output from the headphone monitor jack. I have my dial set at somewhere between 5 and 10% for everyday use on my MacBook, which gives you an idea of the amount of headroom there is there for production settings. I mentioned at the outset of the video that the Volt 2 gives plenty of gain to mics like the Shure SM7B. And it worked great whether I'm in a piece of software like Audacity or Ableton Live, or if I'm just using it for a work call using Microsoft Teams or Zoom. Do need to make sure that you adjust the gain depending on what software you're using. I guess that's pretty normal, but it did catch me out the first time when I blasted somebody out in a Teams meeting using the Shure SM7B. I went for the Volt 2 because I wanted the flexibility to be able to plug in an additional microphone for podcasts, etc. But it is a combi jack, so you can plug in a guitar, and on the back there are MIDI ports for plugging in keyboards, etc. The monitor outputs on the back are 1/4-inch jacks, and they work well. They provide a very clean output going into my Rotel amp, which has had issues with other audio interfaces with hissing and crackling, but no such issues here. There's a few other knobs and dials on the front, and buttons to control different things like providing phantom power to a mic or enabling the vintage mic preamp mode. I mentioned that this works well with Windows and Macs, and it's meant to work well with an iPad or an iPhone as well through the USB-C output. I don't own either an iPad or an iPhone, so I can't comment on that. I do wish that these devices provided at least one input on the back in the form of a combo jack. Those are reserved for the higher end models in the Apollo range. If you've got the money for those, then go for it. The only reason for that is in my particular situation it would just look a bit nicer. But this is a fantastic lower cost alternative to those high-end Apollo interfaces, and in my opinion I think they're a better option than the equivalents from Behringer or Focusrite. I have a little bit of a background in audio production, but I've never really tried to delve into it or up my game in any great way. And now having this device is just a piece of a puzzle, alongside having a good mic and some decent headphones. But I think having this tool does open up a world of possibilities and enables you to have a pretty decent crack at some pretty good sound production, whether it's podcasting or recording music. There's a full desk setup video in the works, so be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see how this fits within the rest of my setup, and leave a like if you found this review helpful. And I also use my Twitter to highlight tips and issues I find with my devices over time. Thanks for watching.